Mhm. And I'm going to check if that is live. Yeah, we're live. Okay, amazing. Annie, hey, nice to see you here. Check if that is live. Yeah, we're live. Okay, amazing. Annie, hey, nice to see you here. If that is live. Yeah, we're live. Right. Just getting my head around the echo we had there. Okay, perfect. So nice to see you guys and welcome to our AuM Ministry. This is episode 5. This is what I'm aiming to do is like a weekly teaching call really. It's mostly about how to embody your higher self and to really step into your true divine sovereignty and leadership. And really, it's an opportunity for us to get together because the world can feel quite chaotic sometimes. It can feel like there's a lot going on. Anytime I scroll on socials, I'm just like, I can scroll for about 5 minutes and then already I'll see something or there'll just be something that I'm like, this is not making me feel good at all. And I have to get off socials and I'm almost finding myself not wanting to be on socials at all. And I wanted to create a space where we could every September, which means every week, we could come together and just basically take the moment to reconnect back to ourselves. That no matter what is going on in the world, that we keep coming back to our own inner peace, our own inner stillness, and how to find that divine balance within and that stability within, so that we aren't swayed by the external and we can actually create the external through our internal peace. Because change truly happens with us first. It happens within ourselves. It happens on our doorstep. Hi, Lindsay. And so, these sessions, these AuM Ministries, is a free offering from me to you, everyone that wants to be a part of these, as a way of us to like take a moment, take an hour in our week or September to say, right, I'm just going to spend this hour spending it with like-minded people, with good energy, and rather than scrolling on socials and seeing stuff we just don't want to see, instead we're going to come back and keep coming back to ourselves. How can I keep coming back into myself? How can I keep coming back to my sovereign divinity? How can I keep coming back to building that internal bridge to your own higher self or to God or to the divine within? Um, oh, and amazing. Lindsay said, you're feeling a lot better since the angel guidance. That's so nice to hear. So I do have an angel guidance Telegram group that Lindsay's a part of, and Annie as well. We've got all my angel guidance group people on here today. So it's really beautiful to see you all, and thank you for joining us. Even if you can't stay for long, just for the fact that you tuned in and your energy here is more than enough, and I'm so grateful. So what I'm going to do first, just while we're bringing people in, is I'm going to stream one of my songs. If you don't know, I'm Ora Zikara. I am a healer, I'm a singer and a songwriter, and I've just released my full album, Self Savior Volume 1. And it's all in 432 hertz. So what's really interesting is you'll find a lot of music at the minute is AI. Even like a lot of spiritual songs, you'll find there's so much like AI where people just haven't created any aspect of the song at all. They've literally just gone into an AI prompt, typed it out. AI's produced a whole song, they've published it online, and then that's that. And so I want to let you know that this is my own music, that musicians existed before AI music did, and here I am still trying to do my music, but doing it from a different place because when I first started my music career 15 years ago or something, I've always been doing music, but when I really first started taking it seriously, I was very much coming from a place of trying to prove myself to my parents, like trying to prove myself to myself, really needing external validation, and really, I feel doing the music because I thought that that was that was my special thing, and that there's nothing, say, valuable about me, but my music is like a gift that I can share, and maybe I can change the world and make something of myself and be valuable and be special or be like wanted or loved or like deserve my place on earth if I could somehow make it mega successful as a singer. The problem is with that, a lot of insecurity was that then I felt jealous of other people, I felt in competition with people. Had I had a lot of like anxiety and stuff, and so when I would perform, if I was doing competitions or anything, I would always self-sabotage them. And at the time, I never understood why they kept going so badly because I could sing really well, but when it came to do like these competitions and stuff, they just went really bad, all my auditions, and I had no idea. And it was like I was getting turned down left, right, and centre. And now I realised that it was always because I was coming from the wrong place. It was always me feeling like I needed to prove myself and that I wasn't enough if I didn't become like a famous singer. And my standards for what I needed to become was so high because it was like if I had just released a few albums, which I've already released music, if I'd have done that, maybe that could be your level of success. Maybe that is you being, wow, you've released albums, that's amazing. A lot of people don't get to do that in life, amazing. But no, mine was like, I need to be performing on like Wembley Stadium and I need to be like worldwide famous. Like, so this is um, a really hard like aspiration I'd set for myself. And I also felt like if I didn't achieve that, I would have rather died. And I said to my spiritual teacher when I first met my spiritual teacher and first started going on my spiritual journey, my whole life had been focused around trying to make it as a successful musician. And and I said there was like this one evening where I had the opportunity to have a very spiritual experience to kind of go and meet some people and do something that would better my soul's journey and my soul's awakening. But I also had this music deadline because there was a competition the next day where an artist had released one of her instrumentals and she'd said, she was like a famous artist and she'd said, everyone, there's a competition, sing, make up your own song over the top of this and submit it, and the winner will receive like the song being recorded and it published and stuff. And I used to try out for pretty much everything because I was always taught by my parents that you take every opportunity, you jump at it because one has to work. And so, like, I would put a lot of pressure on myself. And by the way, this is not what I was planning on talking about in this AuM Ministry, but I tuned into my angels and this is what's coming through. So we'll just go with the flow with this. There was this one evening, then I had a competition, like, deadline the next day that was like, you need to submit your song fully, like, written and recorded before this special deadline. And the night before, when I was going to do all that, my spiritual teacher was like, come and do this, come and do this, what we're all doing, like this hangout space. It's going to be like almost a ceremonial space and it's going to really benefit you on your healing journey. And I remember being so torn between, well, what do I do? Do I miss this opportunity of this competition and potentially like sabotage or miss my chance to make it as a singer and songwriter and then hate myself for the rest of my life? Or do I go and do I just like miss out on this chance to do some soul healing and meet some good people and instead stay at home trying to do this competition? And so I was like torn between the two. And I said, I felt so torn because I said to my spiritual teacher, I was like, if I don't make it in music, I would rather die. Like it means that much to me that if I don't make it, I would be so almost ashamed and embarrassed that I would just rather not even be here. It was almost like I thought that me being a success in music was my only value and my only purpose. And if I didn't do that, then I have no reason to even exist. Like it, I don't know, I tied my purpose to becoming something and needing that external validation, really. And so I think there's almost an embarrassment with musicians when you first start, where like you hear about people's uncles who just do pub gigs and they're always say, oh, yeah, I do music, but they never really do much with it. And it's like you just assume that they're a failure or they aren't that good and stuff. And so you don't want to be like that. And so it's like you just have this it's like this distorted view on what success is and truly what joy is and why you're doing it in the first place. Because I should have never really been doing it to try and gain success. I should have been doing it because I love I love writing like songs and singing and stuff. And that's what I lost on this journey to trying to chase the validation and proving myself to the world. 1,000% Lindsay's just shared in the TikTok chat that I'm on a higher frequency now. And if I would have been on a like trying to do it successfully on that lower energy where I was coming from the wrong place and really jealous and really competitive and stuff, I would have struggled to connect with the masses in the way that I can now that I have healed myself. Because the truth is that yes, you can get a lot of like famous people who are bad influences. You can get a lot of famous people who are got bad energy and they're not here to really like they're not there for the best reasons. And I don't feel like those types of celebrities are going to really last in the coming years and in the future because people are changing what people are changing the leaders they look up to anyway. But for me, one of my biggest virtues or values has always been being like true to myself and authentic. And so when I started waking up spiritually, I got to this point where I thought, I need to know like who I am. I need to get straight on what I want to, who I want to be, what I want to represent, what I really want to like share as my values, what my virtues are, the type of role model that I'm going to be, because you have to be a good role model. And I didn't want to be pretending to be a good role model, but actually have a load of shit still going on internally. I was like, I need to just put all this aside and sort myself out and do this inner healing because I can't be on stage pretending to be well, even just being a leader and leading people astray down a path of which I don't even know where the F I'm going. So when I said this to my spiritual teacher, like I want to come on this spiritual journey, but I feel like if I miss this competition, then my whole music career is like done with, and then it's almost like I felt this whole pressure that if I didn't try my hardest, then I'm going to completely fail and it's going to be like the end of the world. And my spiritual teacher just said, like, well, so what? Can't you forgive yourself? Like, where's the self-love and self-compassion? So what if you do end up never making it as a musician? Like, why can't you learn to love yourself even then? And that's what I was missing really is being able to love myself, whether I failed or succeeded, or like being able to value myself and see the value in myself, whether I failed or succeeded in all things. It all really comes down to self-love because if you can truly learn to love and accept yourself no matter your circumstances, then you're good to go. Like that's the one thing we all need to really start with, I think, is self-love, self-compassion, the self-healing, the inner work, and then we move from there. So I'm like trying to remember why I even started talking about the music stuff to begin with. I think I was saying I was gonna put my song on, and he says absolutely. Yeah, I was gonna just play my song, and then we'll get into then what this video topic was meant to be about, which is about really controlling versus creating and taking our power back as sovereign creators in our lives. So I'm gonna play my song "Plant a Seed," and then we'll get back to it. Let me just see if I can figure out how to do this on Zoom. I think I'm going to share my screen. And then I need to share my sound as well. Share sound. Lovely. One sec, because
just plant a seed. I can smell the pine trees. I can taste the warmth of cinnamon. I'm ready for the love. I'm focused on the here, and life slows down. And every time I sing, I hear God's call. In the stillness of forever, I become it all. And I feel true joy, I'm so grateful. And I'll grow the thorn and the rose. There's a couple of people I could forget, happy to erase them out of my head. And I am free, the way that I wished I could be. Oh, so worth it, though it wasn't always easy. It wasn't always easy. Who knows what will grow if you just plant a seed? Oh, just plant the seed. Oh, if you plant the seed, you never know what will grow.
Yes. Okay, so this is so interesting because let me just make sure that my audio is working on YouTube again. This is so interesting. I didn't even plan this. Let me get my audio right. Testing. Yeah. Lindsay says, beautiful. I also love the Goddess song. Thank you. So this is amazing because, thank you, Annie. Annie says beautiful as well. So planting the seed, yeah. This video is about control versus creation and how control, the title on YouTube says control is fear, creation is power. Control can be from fear, but creation is really where we take in our full power. So what I learned the other day is this insight came to me. I was typing out a big prayer that I want to say every day for myself. Oh, Annie says, now I'm back in a wonderful energy again. Good, Annie. I'm so pleased. And Annie actually bought the EP on my website. So sending you so much love, Annie. I appreciate that support, honestly. Yeah, so I was writing this big prayer that I want to say for my life. I'm kind of getting back more into the power of our word again. And if any of you have followed me on my Ora Zikara page, or what I used to be called Gabby Zikara, I shared so many videos for years about the power of your word, spoken word, and literally how it spells out into your field and creates things, and it is so powerful. And I kind of started sleeping on it a bit, like focusing on other things, because I shared so much about the power of the word, but the power of the word is only really one aspect to really taking back your power and controlling or creating your life. There's so many other aspects like doing the emotional healing, sorting out your mindset, doing grounding, working on your energy, like maybe past life things, maybe inner child things, maybe sorting out your environment, tidying your house, sorting out your friendship group, sorting out what types of content you're allowing into your field, what food you're eating, all the stuff. And I kind of got to this point where I was like, just sharing about the word, it felt almost empty when I wasn't sharing about all the other stuff that actually supports it. Yes, the power of the word is important, but it's not the foundations. What I've come to learn is the foundations. The temple is built on many pillars. It's not just one. So you need to almost build all of these supporting structures in your life. So I was writing, I'm getting more back into using my word again. I create so much powerful energy within me, and I was like, I'm not really doing anything with it. And I've never really been into manifestations that people share and they talk about how great they are at manifesting and they manifest things so quickly and amazingly. And I've never really seen it. It's never really happened for me. So I've always just been like, maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe it's kind of like um an illusion, like a belief that people have and they just kind of seeing things and there's something lacking in me. Maybe I didn't know what it was. But I thought, you know what? I'm not really trying. I've not really tried that hard to manifest stuff. I've never really sat there and done like a whole manifestation ritual every single day and made sure that I keep being on top of my manifestation. So I've not tried it enough to know. So I thought, I'm going to write a big prayer out for myself that I want in my life. And use this prayer and say it every single day and just see what happens and see how it shifts me. And so I was writing out this prayer, and in it, I was typing it up on the computer so I can make changes depending on what felt like it was good and what was, I'm not sure about that. And one of the lines I typed up as I was writing it, I said, thank you, because I was doing the prayer to Divine Mother, Father God. And rather than saying, Divine Mother, Father God, bring me money, bring me like all my manifestations, like bring me whatever. Rather than kind of asking them for the help, I need this stuff. I was like, Divine Mother, Father God, thank you for blessing my life with all of these amazing things. And I was saying the spell or the prayer in a way that is like, thank you for all the amazing things you've already gifted to me, and thank you for this and that. And I started adding in the extra stuff that I do want to manifest in my life. Things like say 100% like clarity and really refined truths so that I can really like help people and serve people in the best way, all the stuff that you have on your personal list of things you want in your life. And I said, thank you for guiding me to take full control of my life. And I like wrote that out. I was thinking, yes, this is perfect. Thank you for guiding me to take full control of my life. Like that felt like I was stepping into some kind of level of responsibility or power, taking control of my life. And then I had this insight that was like taking control of your life. Because when I said that, there's a difference between saying taking control of my life and creating the life I want. Because when you say taking control of my life, that implies that your life is here. You've got what you're given. Life is working like life is working to you. It shows up and you try and control what's already there. But when you say for creating my life, this is you taking responsibility from the get-go because everything that's shown up in your life, you did create in some way anyway, on some kind of subconscious level. There's loads of ways that we can create things in our life, consciously or subconsciously. And these things can be set into motion in this life, they can be set into motion in past lives, in lives between lives. But everything that we experience is some kind of a creation, be it conscious or not, be it playing out our traumas and our wounding, or be it consciously creating what we want. And so when I was like, thank you for helping me control my life, I felt like this energy of control is like, thank you for helping me take what I've got and trying to manipulate it into what I need it to be. And I was like, wow, that feels so restricting. It feels like I'm out of my power because when you need to control things, that implies that you aren't really truly in your full power. We can control ourselves only. We can only really control how we choose to show up to life. And that's where control and being creative works really well together. Creative control. It's like taking that creative control of being that creator and saying, what do I want to create? And then you choose how you want to respond to life and show up to life. And that's what you're controlling is. I'm going to control my like emotions. I'm going to make sure that I'm like balanced. I'm going to make sure that I say what I want to say in this moment, and that every present moment is an opportunity for you to keep consciously creating and seeding the life you want. But if you're like, thank you for like helping me control my life right now, your life right now is the effects of your life, like your energy 6 months ago. It's not a reflection of what your energy is like right now. So trying to control your life is like saying, I've lost all power. Because when you have to control things, you are then you're trying to force them because you need them to be a certain way in order for you to feel like your life's good or your life's whole or your life's complete. If something isn't how you want it to be, I have tried controlling things. I've been a control freak in my life. Like needed, I've needed to feel in control because I've needed to feel safe. And there was an aspect of me that needed to know like all the information. I need to know every single step of a plan. I need to know like what people are doing. I felt like I needed to almost um even control how people were around me. I felt responsible for how other people would behave, and I felt like everything was my responsibility. And I need to try and control it all or get a hold on it all so that I can feel um like I've got some kind of stability and safety in my life and really in my nervous system. And when things happened that were unpredictable, it scared me. I was scared of the change. I was scared of the unpredictability, but you know how much you're blocking when you're scared of change and unpredictability, because if you only hold on to what's comfortable and anytime things start to change a little bit, you're like, no, I need it to all stay. Like, especially this happens if like a lot of things are, you're quite happy with a lot of stuff in your life and it's not perfect, but you're like, do you know what? I really hope that it stays like this because I can only see it getting worse. It's like almost this belief that you can't ever like really recreate that happiness again, or happiness doesn't last. And so like the minute you have a little bit, you want to hold on to it and control it because you're like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this again. And all of this is the belief that it all exists outside of you. Your happiness, your sense of safety, your sense of security, your love, like all of this, when you are looking externally and trying to manipulate or mold or change or control or hold on to anything externally, what you're saying is that you've completely forgotten that you created all of this and that you can create better for yourself. That if you believe that your life circumstances are the way they are and you aren't happy about it, and then you believe that like I don't know what's coming next and it could get worse, it could get better, I don't know, and you're feeling a bit like hopeless or say victim mentality. This is you saying that you don't think you have the power within you to actually create better, create different, create more, create less, whatever it is you want. And in that belief that you aren't the creator, in that belief that like life is always unfair or everything bad always happens to me or all of these different things that we can have, and by the way they're all valid beliefs that we hold on to or pick up from our upbringing, from past lives, parallel lives, our parents and ancestry, all sorts of stuff, our environments. If we don't deal with these beliefs and start to heal them and one by one peel back these layers and just really start to go, do you know what? Like, I need to stop trying to control the external, and I need to just realize that it's actually impossible to control the external, and that all you can truly do is control the way that you show up to life and control how, like, what you want next and what you're going to do about it. Because the seat of power is not just in realizing that you want something different. The seat of power is you actually doing the healing work, but then making the different action steps, taking different actions to get different results. Because you can do all the healing work on your emotions and go, I deserve better for myself. I deserve someone that treats me well. And you can know that within. And yes, that shifts a little bit. But if you continue to let people then use and abuse you, and you don't actually enforce these new energetic boundaries or physical boundaries that you've been learning, then you're going to continue being used and continue having the same experiences. And so it's like we need to step into this realization that we have the power within to create what we want for ourselves, but it all starts within. And so rather than ever trying to change or control the external, we have to realize that the external is just an illusion. It's a crystallization of our energy from, say, 6 years ago, 6 years ago, 6 months ago, sorry. 6 months ago, maybe even longer than that, maybe that 6 years ago came for some reason. And if that's the case, then Jesus, because if I have to wait 6 years for all this stuff I'm manifesting, I mean, it's going to be a great life in 6 years' time, but so, and yeah, and just to share on YouTube, Astrology Realm said the secret to law of attraction is letting go of what you don't prefer. So what you do prefer may come in by holding on to what you don't prefer. That blocks what you do prefer from coming in 1,000%. And we are always manifesting the subconscious programming. So true. This is another thing, is like sometimes because we don't let go, we've got all of these like gifts in our hands that we want from the universe, all of these requests from God, and it's all in our hands. If we don't let go and give it up to God and say, okay, God, here, I give it all to you, then your hand is still filled with all of that stuff. You've not got an open hand to then receive those blessings back. And this is why they say let go and let God. But it can be really hard, because what I've found is that when you need to control things, it's because you have a lack of trust and a lack of faith in life, in God, in your partner, like in whoever it is or whatever it is you're trying to control. It's this feeling of not feeling safe because you don't trust or have faith that everything's going to work out for you. And so this is when things like creating affirmation statements, not to try and like lie to yourself or try and remind yourself of statements you don't believe, but it's more about like in the moment, just kind of reminding your nervous system, hey, I am safe in this moment. I am safe. Everything's working out for me. And it's just these little subtle cues to remind yourself, things are different this time, and the past doesn't equal the future. And I am safe. And the more that you actually allow yourself to feel safe in the present moment, the more that you then actually able to say, take a deep breath and start relaxing, because controlling feels restrictive, it feels tight. And when your energy tightens up, it kind of closes off from yourself, from your divine love, from your divine connection, from people around you. And you can start to feel like tense and isolated, where the more that you can let go and let flow, you almost relax your nervous system, you relax your energy, relax yourself, and it creates more space in your energy for divine insights to flow, for divine wisdom to flow, for divine solutions to flow. Your life might not be where you want it to be, and you might be thinking, gosh, I've come to this realization that I'm in a bad situation in life, and I don't know how I got here. I don't want to be here. I'm not safe, because there are situations we can find ourselves in where genuinely we're not safe. Like we've put up with abuse for too long or something in say, a toxic relationship, and you come to this realization, wow, I deserve so much more and I'm not safe and I don't know what to do because I'm financially trapped or whatever it is. So they're very real moments, and it is scary. And so it's about being able to find safety in the nervous system within ourselves, find safety within, try and build that divine connection back, try and learn ways to regulate our nervous system, because the more that we can stay calm and at peace, the more that we can be open to receiving the divine insights that's going to help us make a way to get out of these situations and to start to move into more of a life that we want for ourselves and that we deserve. If you're in fear, you can energetically shut down, and it can be more difficult to think clearly, to think straight, to see that there are options, to see that like to ask for help, or all of these different things. So the more that we can learn to do the healing and find ourselves, find trust and faith in ourselves and the divine, and also ask the divine for help. God, make a way for me. God, help me with this. Help me, like, God, I'm really struggling to let go of control, God. Maybe it's one of those. God, I know that I need to let go of control and just start taking responsibility of my life and start choosing to consciously create more and to start allowing for that divine flow of creation and to start allowing myself to soften and relax so that your divine creative flow can flow through me and your divine wisdom can come through me and I can start to really create even better solutions on this earth and for myself and my life. Maybe you just say, God, I know I need to do all that, but I'm really finding it hard. Find it hard to let go of control. I need this feeling of stability. I need to feel safe. I don't feel safe. I don't trust you yet, God. I don't trust life. Life has never worked for me up until this point. Life has never shown up for me. Everything bad always happens to me, God. And so I need your help out of this situation. And I cancel and delete all of those spells. But maybe that's where you start. And then you start to use, say, the words. Then you start to keep turning to God and saying, God, please continue to guide me, show me the way, show me how to get out of this, help me heal my nervous system, help me heal this this fear that I'm going through, whatever it is. And then start to find that balance so that you can start to then get really present, get really clear, and choose to stand in your full power as a sovereign creator on earth. Take that full responsibility and go, okay, how, like, what can I do now? And give to God, give it all to God. And then say, God, I'm giving it all to you. I need your help. This is heavy. This is hard. And allow that divine inspiration to come through. Allow God to make a way. And it might take a bit of time, but that timing was meant to be that timing because divine timing is everything. And it's like the divine timing comes for a reason because things need to align for it to be safe for you to find that pathway out. It's kind of like, say, if someone was going to escape in a movie, Prison Break or something, and they need to wait for the perfect timing when all the guards are asleep or whatever it is to actually leave. And so they might have to wait for weeks or months on end, and they're like, God, I wish I could get out right now. But maybe the divine timing is you literally just need to do this properly because life on earth inherently there are dangers, there are bad situations, there are things that can happen that we don't want. I personally yet haven't had my life where every single aspect is perfect. So I believe that you can get to a place where you feel really good about everything, regardless of what your life is like. And I feel like that's what we're actually trying to head for, rather than being like, everything in my life is perfect. And I'm sure there are times when that can happen where you go, wow, can't believe everything in my life is perfect, pinch me. But because of the nature of life, because of the nature of change, because of the fact that things will always be moving and flowing, that's just the way energy works, that even those perfect moments, if everything's perfect externally, the nature of change says that all of these conditions are going to continue to move and it's never going to stay the way you want it. So holding on to that past version or holding on to what you wish it was, even though it's not like that anymore, we just need to let it go and keep holding on to ourselves instead. Tune into ourselves, feel at peace within ourselves, feel stable within ourselves, feel good within ourselves, so that no matter what's going on externally, you can enjoy this short life that you have on earth. Because otherwise, you go through your whole life trying to get everything perfect, and I don't know if you can fully get everything perfect, or at least how long it stays for, I don't know. And then if you only have it perfect for a year, but then everything changes, are you just gonna feel really down and depressed again? And then how many more years until everything gets perfect again? I found it quite exhausting trying to make everything perfect in my life. I found it almost like an impossible task, and I'm thinking, is this another one of those impossible aspirations I've built for myself, like almost a self-sabotage prophecy of, oh, I'm going to set these goals that are never achievable, so I always fail. And then I wonder what patterns are playing out there. What's going on there for that? So, but yeah, I do believe that you can have everything in your life perfect, but it's more just a case of, I personally think the goal in life is for us to feel good within. and then stay connected to the divine so that we can start to so that we can keep ourselves safe, so that we can manifest even more good for ourselves and for the world. Juicy lip gloss, thank you for liking the live. And so that we can then, obviously, my goal is to create heaven on earth. And so we can really start to step so strongly into our creative power that the next step is, okay, wow, I've created this bliss within. And nothing external shakes this bliss, because if the external is the past, then the external isn't the truth of what's about to come. And so if you keep feeling good within, the crystallization, what's coming next, it has to be better than what was already there. So I wrote down here, I'm just going to see where I found this note, and it came to me in my mind, and I thought I need to remember what it was that I'd said about this. So it's something to consider is, in what ways are you still trying to control because you still think that life is happening to you and not for you? So that's just something to have a think about, is in what ways am I still trying to control things in my life? And the more that you can take responsibility for everything, even if there are some shit people in your life that are like purposely trying to ruin your energy and ruin your fun and whatever it is, like maybe you live with someone that's lazy and you're like, gosh, um, you want your house to be amazing, but they never tidy up after themselves, and you're like, God, this person's really annoying, like this person's really unclean and tidy, like I wish this person would be different. That's trying to control them. Now you can have a mature conversation and say, hey, look, I really need you to help with the house. Like I really want it to be nice. It's both of our houses. Can we do that together? And you give them that opportunity so that they know, obviously. Hi, Juicy Lip Gloss. I'm good. How are you? But where you take full responsibilities, you say this, you go, right, what can I do in this moment? I wish they were different, but I can't change them or control them. What I can do is tell them that I would like this house to be a lot nicer, and then see what they say and give them an opportunity. And maybe they want to step up to that new energy I want for myself. And then if they don't, your full responsibility isn't, well, that in that case, I'm going to try and manipulate them and fall out with them until they do it. No, your responsibility goes, okay, well, what do I want for myself? Do I want a partner that's lazy like that? And let's just pretend they never change. Will I still be happy with that? Am I happy to do all of that housework then? Or where can I take full responsibility? Okay, well, do you know what? My full responsibility is, somehow, for some reason, I've manifested this relationship. It might have felt good at first. Now it feels unaligned. I want better. Or actually, you know what? I love that person. In all other ways, they're great. This is the only thing I can put up with this. And maybe you have like sort of conversations here or there, or maybe you pray and ask the angels to help. But really, that full responsibility of like, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And keep coming back to, if I've created this, if this is like showing up in my life for a reason, what can I do? And I've just had that insight now that I was trying to remember. The last thing I'll share is this. Everything in our life is happening for us, and it's happening for a reason, because we are trying to learn things. We're always trying to learn. So if you're in a situation where you're like, what is this? Like, why won't it change? Maybe you've been trying to control it. I've been trying to control it and it's not changing. How annoying. Next thing is like, you want to just try and avoid it and run away from it and create something different and ignore it. And you're just like, it's not moving. Why is this happening? Then the next thing to go is, well, why is this happening? What is it teaching me? Because sometimes we can sign like karmic contracts and stuff. We can sign contracts with souls to be like, right, you're going to be a right twat on earth and you're going to treat me like this and that. And that's going to teach me how to step into my full empowerment and how to remember who I am and remember my divinity and all this kind of stuff. So once we know what the lesson is, let's say the lesson is you stepping into your full power, then rather than needing that person to act like a twat to you for you to learn that, you can say, okay, perfect, I know what I need to learn. I'm now going to actively choose to continue to step into my full power, and I don't need to manifest people around me to try and push me down and punish me so that I remember my full power. I know what I'm trying to learn. So now I'm going to take these conscious steps, these action steps, stepping into my full power, even if it's just in small moments. Maybe it's having that conversation. Maybe it is trying to actively create what you want. Maybe it is taking responsibility and saying, like literally saying to that person, this isn't working for me anymore. It's a very difficult thing to do, but maybe that's the thing you've been avoiding. And maybe that is you stepping into your full power, is realizing that, you're better off independent than codependent, and your energies just don't match anymore. Like whatever it is that is stepping into your full power, if that's the lesson, the more that you continue to show up into life, stepping into those lessons, those virtues you're trying to gain, the people that are there trying to punish you or try and be mean and horrible to you, they don't need to exist in your life anymore, because you don't need them to remember to step into your full power. You're already doing it consciously. And this is where we start to learn through love, compassion, self-love, mercy, and we get to learn through enjoyable experiences, or even just having courage and just taking action, compared to having to learn through suffering and manifesting suffering or experiences that we don't want to kick our ass into shape. Juicy Lip Gloss says we have to balance and be in a flow state. That's by being happy and chase our joy. 1,000%. The more that we're in flow, it's almost like you're able to like kind of lean back and just lie on the river of life, like lean back into life to support you, lean back into God to support you, and just be like, I let go and I let God. Let's go, let's do this. And it is scary and it's really hard when you're just used to being in control. It's a real fear, is needing to be in control. It's like a full blown body nervous system reaction, because something most likely happened either in this life or a past life that was like you were out of control, and maybe you had a big trauma, maybe something terrible happened, and so you learn, I can never ever let go of control ever again. And what I'm sharing in this teaching is that is holding you back, because it's a lie that you can never let go of control again. The more that you can let go of control and start to step into that full trust and that divine flow, and start to create from that place, from allowing God to flow through and just kind of help you create what God wants for you, which is even better than you could even dream, the safer you are. So we think that being in control is safety, but it's actually a lack of power. Because if you think about like the way that the control system works on this plane, the deletes, all they want to do is control humanity and control the awakening. Why do you think they need to control our mind, our thoughts, what we do, the way we behave? Is because they know that they have no true power. They have no real power. They can't create. They can't create what they want on earth. They've lost that connection to the divine. The creative energy is like the divine energy, the divine flow, God. They've lost that connection, and so they can't create what they want on earth. So they have to try and control us to create it. And they have to try and control us because they've got no way of like harnessing their own power. A truly powerful person, they could just stand in the room and they don't have to shout or control people. They don't have to prove themselves. They don't have to act like a mean boss or anything. They just stand in their full power, and it's known. It's a subconscious known thing. It's an energetic thing, being in your power. Control means that you have a lack of power, so you're trying desperately to force it. And then power, stepping into your full power, and creativity is going beyond that and realizing that you you created it all for your highest and best purpose. And so what are you going to do with that responsibility and that energy? And this is where really we go really deep with my one-on-one sessions, because what we do is we find the root causes of all of these feelings, like the need to control, the need to hold on to things, the need to try and like make things perfect, the validation needs, like all of these different wounds, these different false beliefs, the belief that life never supports me, or that God's abandoned me, or all of this stuff. This is all stuff that I found in my subconscious when I went and did the digging work. But all of these things, they end up manifesting in ways where we end up experiencing stuff. Our life isn't how we want it, and we're like, well, I didn't create this. I didn't want this. I never asked for this. And in truth, there was something in your energy that brought it in. And so when we are creating these things, sometimes it's completely subconscious, because it's like, I didn't want this for myself. And then it's like, no, not consciously you didn't, but subconsciously you've called it in because it's trying to show you what you're trying to learn, and it's trying to show you what wounds still need healing, so that you can then dissolve them out your energy, allow more of that divine light in, allow more of that divine flow in, soften into life, and start to lighten up, really. The more light you allow in, the more that you lighten up. And I've personally experienced more joy in my life, not because anything external has changed, because it hasn't really, but more joy in my life because I am allowing more of God's light within me, because I'm dissolving these tense areas where I'm contracting and trying to control or protect my heart chakra. And I've been hurt in the past, so now I'm building up these energetic walls, and I must control I must control people around me and not let people in too close, and all of this stuff, subconscious stuff that's just sabotaging ourselves. And the thing is, everyone's journey and story is so unique. So you never really can tell exactly what it is for you until we go in and do these sessions and go to that core wound and find that core place within that is where all of this is coming from in your life. And in the one-on-one sessions, we go there and we do the healing at that root, so that it's not only not manifesting again in this life, but in all lives, in all the different parallel lives, in any future lives, even like ancestrally. Because when you start to heal these things, sometimes they can have come from your ancestry. They can have been inherited. They can be from all different places. And when you pull that and heal that from yourself, it's not just your own healing, it heals a lot of people. It heals even like all life around you where you live. Like every single time you work on yourself and you continue to go within and see what's next and see what's next, it's constantly doing all of this. It's constantly leveling you up, really. And honestly, I don't think there's limits on how high you can go and how much of this work that can be done. But I do think there's a balance. I think that you do the inner work, but if you're doing just inner work after inner work after inner work, but staying away hidden, that's not why you're here on earth. Because I'm sure in the spirit world you could be doing all this soul healing. The balance of it with you being on earth at this time is you do the healing, but then you take one step forward in the physical. You take an action towards something. You build something, you create something, you spread joy in some way, you teach something, you like whatever it is. It's like you do the inner, but you balance it with taking these steps externally as well. The next AuM Ministry call, it's going to be next Thursday, is at the minute I'm planning it to be called the Imperfect Leader, which is honestly how I feel I am at the minute. Because it's about this feeling of, well, can I really truly like step out on socials, and can I truly try and teach and lead if I'm not perfect? Like, don't I have to do all the healing work first and be fully healed and fully perfect to be able to tell people how they can heal and be perfect. And the truth is absolutely not. And actually, I can't believe that for so long I've really felt like I needed to reach some kind of level of perfection before I just started. Because your your journey, your purpose, and the way that you're here to help people, it's every day. It's not just in 3 or 4 years, once I'm perfect, then I can be a leader online and help people. It's like literally that conversation you had in the post office this morning helped someone. That smile you gave to the cashier helped someone. The text you sent to your mum helped someone. And that is you stepping into your true leadership, the imperfect leader, because leading in life is about just striving forwards to be your highest and best. And I don't know if you ever get to the highest and the best, but you're always on that journey. So is everyone else. And we're all just walking each other to wherever the end goal is, to our highest light, to our true divinity, to our true self, walking ourselves back home. So that'll be our next call. If you wanted a one-on-one session, you wanted to do a session to go in and see what kind of things are blocking you, what we do, it's an hour and a half session. And I'm just going to just make sure that my TikTok's still aligned. And what we do is we do going into a guided meditation, and we work on one thing at a time. So maybe you want more money, or maybe you're wanting like a promotion, or maybe you're wanting to create a social media, but for some reason it's not building or growing. Whatever it is, it can be absolutely anything. It can be health related, anything at all. And we take that one core thing that you want, and then we go in and we say, like, what is the first core wound that is like creating this block or creating this resistance? What is it? And honestly, it can be a lot of things. It can be I don't feel I have any value, or God has abandoned me, or I don't deserve this, or what. There can be so many. But each time you do a shift, it really ripples and impacts more than you would think. It almost like pulls, it's like, that game Jenga or something, where you pull one out and then the tower's still standing, but then you pull another out and the tower's a bit wobbly now, and then you pull another out and then they all fall. And so all of those different Jenga blocks, they're all different like beliefs or things that keeping you stuck, or blocks. And all you have to do is like pull one, and then sometimes it can be the one thing that was holding everything else up. And then gradually, as you do, you allow more and more light in, you allow more and more love in, and it's a constant leveling up. And he says, yes, there's no perfect. We are perfect enough. Everything is a stepping stone and evolving all the time, 1,000%. So let me just see. I think I've been missing a load of messages on TikTok. I'm not sure. But Juicy Lip Gloss, thank you for liking all of the live so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, so the one-on-one sessions, we'll do that. It's taking it one step at a time. So we've got one-on-one sessions. You can schedule one-off calls, and I am also doing an exclusive of a package of 4 sessions for cheaper. So the one-on-one sessions, it's an hour and a half and it's £122. If you wanted to do 4 sessions, it would be £444. So you'd be saving like, I don't know, like 44 quid or something to do the 4. Sometimes you need a few to really tackle a situation, but you could always just do one and see how that feels. And then the other thing is doing 3-month personal packages. And so this is for, if you want to work one-on-one for 3 months, it's 9 sessions. And this is not just about doing the inner healing work. This is about all of those pillars that I spoke about at the beginning of this call. So this is about like a full lifestyle reset, really, because yes, the inner healing work is important, and it's one of the biggest things that keeps us blocked in life is like trapped emotions. But if you are trying to do the emotional healing, but you aren't changing your mindset, and you aren't using like the power of the word, and you aren't like eating well, and you're still watching crap on TV, and you're still filling your field with shit, and you're still in bad relationships or got bad people around you, all of this stuff is going to sabotage the emotional healing you're trying to do. And so with the 3 month package, it's like we go in on every single aspect to make sure that we can take small steps or however much you want in the right direction or the right direction. Because I personally have found that true transformation in my life has not just happened through doing one aspect, it's happened through combining them all into a new way of living, into healthy habits, and then actually walking that path and sustaining it. It's like when you start a new diet, yes, you see results eventually, but if you go back to your old ways, your life will go back to the same, your body will go back to the way it was. And so when you want to really change your life, you do the inner healing work, but you actually have to change the way you approach life, change your lifestyle, change your thoughts, change yourself really, create create from a new place, and then the results will be long lasting, because if you continue to show up life in the exact same way, you're going to continue to get the exact same results. If you start changing the way that you show up, the way that you treat yourself, the way that you love yourself, it all starts within and then it gets reflected without, then you'll start to see the external reflecting back to you, that self-love that you have, that self-validation that you have, and you no longer need to control others to help you feel validated. You have that within yourself. You can just fully let go then, because you already fulfill yourself, and then and it allows that relaxation and that looseness for then the light and the blessings and everything you've been waiting to receive to fully come through and be received. When you control and you're contracting, you're not only blocking like blocking your light, but you're actually blocking your ability to receive the blessings that God wants for you, and you're blocking like your ability to have optimum health and everything. It's just a constant getting out of our own way all the time. So all of my sessions, they're on thegreatlightgarden.com. So you can find them on there. If you're watching on YouTube, I've got the links in the actual description. If you're watching on TikTok, I've recorded this whole thing on YouTube, so you can go watch it from the beginning if you want to. But this was my AuM Ministry teachings. I'm trying to do it every single September, which is every week. And yeah, it's been a blessing to spend this time with you all. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for being here and for your shares and your comments and your likes and everything. It means the world. And yes, I appreciate you all and love you all so much. So I'm Ora Zikara. Find all my sessions on thegreatlightgarden.com and have a God ray. See you soon.